This is the Teupen Leo 21 GT. This is a track-mounted, articulating, static boom, IPAF category 1B. Those who intend to use any machine with characteristics of weight, height, width, length or complexity which differ significantly to the training they have received should ensure that they receive a familiarisation to cover the differences. It is the employer's responsibility to ensure that all operators using equipment are adequately trained and familiarised to comply with current health and safety legislation. Machine-specific familiarisation should follow on from basic training and cover the manufacturer's instructions and warnings, features of the specific model, control functions, safety devices and emergency lowering procedures. All of the above are to be found in the operator's manual supplied with the machine. When travelling or manoeuvring track-mounted platforms, please be aware that IPAF have produced best practice on the use of travelling. Refer to the poster and follow where possible. Specifications and technical data. The maximum working height is 21 metres. The side reach at 250 kilograms is 12.25 metres. The up and over reach at the point of articulation is 9.4 metres. The working basket height is 1.1 metres. The working basket length is 1.4 metres. The working basket width is 0.77 metres. The overall length of the machine is 6.4 metres. The overall length without the working platform attached is 5 metres. The height of the machine when fully stowed is 1.99 metres. The overall width of the machine is 0.98 metres. The ground clearance of the machine is 0.4 metres. The chain chassis length is 1.45 metres. The chain width is 0.2 metres. The length of the standard bracing area is 4.7 metres. The width of the standard bracing area is 4.7 metres. This refers to the outriggers in the fully extended position. The length of the bracing area, narrow one-sided, is 6.3 metres. The width of the bracing area, narrow and one-sided, is 3.6 metres. The width of the bracing area, narrow and two-sided, is 2.5 metres. The maximum capacity in the platform is 250 kilograms. The rotation of the working platform is 180 degrees. The maximum rotation range is 450 degrees. Chassis height and width adjustment is 19 cm or 46 cm depending on the height and width that the tracks are currently set at. The maximum gradability is 19 degrees or 34%. The slope angle 19 degrees or 34%. The total weight of the machine is 2,980 kilograms. The maximum point load while driving is 4.63 kilonewtons per metre squared. The maximum point load whilst in the working position in wide bracing is 1.57 kilonewtons per metre squared. The maximum point load under a bracing pad is 23.7 kilonewtons. Warnings and symbols. Danger. This combination of symbol and signal word indicates an imminently hazardous situation, which if not avoided will result in death or serious injury. Warning. This combination of a symbol and signal word indicates a potentially hazardous situation, which if not avoided may result in death or serious injury. Caution. This combination of symbol and signal word indicates a potentially hazardous situation, which if not avoided may result in minor or moderate injury. Notice. This combination of symbol and signal word involves a potentially hazardous situation, which if not avoided may result in property damage. Environmental protection. This combination of symbol and signal word indicates potential danger to the environment. Tips and recommendations. This symbol highlights useful tips and recommendations as well as information designed to ensure efficient and smooth operation. When using and operating the machine, it is strongly recommended to wear the following personal protective equipment: safety helmet with chin strap, safety goggles or safety spectacles, ear protection as necessary, safety gloves, safety footwear, appropriate clothing. When working from a boom-type mobile elevated working platform, it is strongly recommended that a full body harness with an adjustable lanyard be used to provide work restraint. The lanyard should be adjusted to be as short as possible and may contain an energy absorbing device. The need for any other personal protective equipment should be indicated by your risk assessment and method statement. Keys. Your Teupen does not have a traditional key. The key that is supplied with the machine is a battery isolator key, which is a red key which is inserted into the battery isolator. To turn the machine on, simply turn the key once through 90 degrees to the on position. To isolate and shut down the machine, turn the isolator key once anti-clockwise and remove the key. Additional keys which may be present include an engine start key that is used for servicing and if the engine card or relays fail, the fuel tank key, the hydraulic tank key and the electrical box keys. Machine features: 1. Outrigger 2, 2. Outrigger 1, 3. Control head with control panel and socket, 4. Working basket or platform, 5. Control box, 6. Cover for the hydraulic and electrical motor, 7. Left crawler chassis, 8. Control box, 9. Engine controller. 1. Outrigger 4, 2. Lower boom, 3. Upper boom, 4. Outrigger 3, 5. Cover for the combustion engine, 6. Right crawler chassis, 7. Hydraulic control box. The working platform is kept horizontal at all times by an electro-hydraulic compensation system. The working platform essentially comprises of the rotating assembly, the lift boom holder, the telescopic lower boom and the telescopic upper boom. For when operating on mains, all Teupen machines are 16 amp, 240 volt, which is a small round blue plug. Please note that your extension lead can be not longer than 10 meters. If it is longer than 10 meters, this will result in significant power loss to the machine. Power is supplied either from main supply using an extension cable or by the internal combustion engine. The electric motor is connected by the customer to a 230 volt connection. The plug connector is situated underneath the cover. When connected to mains electric, there's no noise of any motor until the function is activated. 110 volt power to the platform. When using power tools on a platform, plug in your 110 cable into the base of the machine. Now it is possible to use the power tool from the working platform without dangling cables. Pre-use checks. Identify the thorough examination plate and ensure that the machine is in date. Locate the manufacturer's data plate and ensure that serial number corresponds with the thorough examination serial number. Make sure that the operator's manual is stored in the black box in the platform. Ensure that it's correct, up to date and fully legible. Before using the machine, carefully read the manual. Make sure that you understand fully the safety regulations and operating instructions. Visually inspect the whole machine. Ensure that all decals on the machine are fully legible and clear. Ensure that you check all pins, fasteners, nuts and retainers. Ensure they are properly fastened and correctly tight. Check any welds looking for cracks, damage. Check all booms, ensuring they are seated correctly, straight and not damaged. Check the outrigger's legs, making sure that the outrigger's legs are in good condition, no damage. Check the hydraulic oil level for correct levels. Check the fuel tank to ensure that there is sufficient fuel. Check the battery, ensuring that it's correctly connected and secured. Check for any hydraulic oil leaks or any other leaks on the machine. Harness anchorage points, make sure they are in good condition and marked. Check hydraulic cylinders, pipes and rams, checking for any leaks, damaged cables. Engine, check for the correct engine oil level. Ensure that the platform entry gate or sliding midrail close fully and is secured. Check the operation of the ladder to access the platform. This should open and close freely. When in the closed position, this should be locked up. Check boom wear pads. Cable remote controls. Number 1. The control levers can be used to perform the respective colour-coded functions in accordance with the selected operating function and the position of the function selection lever. 2. Red lamp. The red lamp flashes when the basket weight is exceeded. This red lamp also signals faults with the machine. Green lamp. The green lamp flashes when the outriggers are not in the contact with the ground, they are not latched, or if the bracing angle is not correct. The green lamp will light up constantly when the machine is correctly braced. 4. Toggle switch for function selection. The toggle switch for function selection is used to switch between the platform function, the chain or crawler function, and the stabilizer bracing function. 5. Toggle switch for operating mode selection. This is used to select the operating mode, crawl or fast speed, in conjunction with the crawler chain function. It is also used for selecting the operating modes for manual or automatic for the outrigger's bracing and platform functions. The operating mode selector switch can be used to activate and deactivate the ramping function. This is moving softly into the final positions. In position auto, ramp function is activated. In position manual, ramp function is deactivated. Number 6 is a dummy plug and this has no function. 7. Emergency stop button. The emergency stop button is situated on the control panel. When it has been actuated, it has to be released by turning it in order to make the machine ready for operation again. 8. Working basket toggle switch. This toggle switch is used to rotate the working basket. 9. Toggle switch for cable remote control. The toggle switch is used to switch the cable remote control on and off. 10. Yellow lamp. The yellow lamp indicates the startup process and the operating status of the combustion engine. 11. Toggle switch for engine. This toggle switch is used to start and stop the combustion engine. Control panel in the working platform. Number 1. Green lamp. When the green lamp is lit up permanently, the machine is braced correctly. When the green lamp is flashing slowly, the machine is not braced correctly. 2. Red lamp. When the red lamp lights up permanently, there is a malfunction. You must immediately isolate, tag and report the machine to your supervisor or manager. When the red lamp blinks, this states that the maximum basket weight has been exceeded. 3. Graphic display. The graphic display shows the movements available with the respective functions, as well as machine data. If an illegal movement has been selected, warnings and information messages are shown. I'll explain more of this later. 4. Function keys. The function keys are used to navigate through the menu of the graphic display. 5. Home key. When you press the home key, the platform automatically assumes its initial position. This is an optional extra not fitted to all machines. 6. Illuminated start-stop push button. This is used to start and stop the combustion engine and indicates the startup process and operating status. 7. Toggle switch for function selection. Using the toggle switch, the chain function, platform or bracing function is selected. 8. Toggle switch operating mode selection. This is used to select the operating modes, crawl or fast speed, in conjunction with the chain or crawler function. It is used to select the operating mode, manual or automatic, for the bracing and platform function. The operating mode selector switch can be used to activate and deactivate the ramp function, basically moving the machine softly and slowly into the final position. Position to auto ramp function is activated. Position to manual ramp function is deactivated. Number 9. Emergency stop button. On the control panel there is an emergency stop button. When it has been actuated, it has to be released by turning in order to make the machine ready for operation again. 10. Toggle switch for rotating the working basket. This is used to rotate the working basket. 11. Dummy plug. This has no function. 12. Control levers. The control levers can be used to perform the respective colour-coded functions. On Teupen machines they use 3 colours: blue, red and yellow. Blue refers to platform function. Red refers to chain and crawler function. Yellow refers to bracing and stabiliser functions. The graphic display comprises of the 4 function keys and the display screen. This display starts up when the machine is switched on. It is automatically updated in line with the current situation of the machine. The function keys are used to navigate through the menu. The assignment of the function keys is shown in the display screen. Examples of operating modes. In the chain or crawler function operating mode, the horizontal and vertical tilt of the machine is shown by points on the coordinating axis. Outrigger function. The number 1 relates to the circular level, 2 relates to the outrigger lock-in, 3 relates to the ground pressure. In the bracing function operation mode, the orientation of the individual outriggers and their correct bracing is shown. On this picture here, one side has been what we call narrow jacked. The machine has been correctly levelled and the outriggers are locked. The ground pressure is sufficient. The correct bracing is indicated by a check or tick mark. In addition to this, a visual inspection of the correct circular level is required. Platform function. In platform function operating mode, the movements currently available to be activated with the operating levers are shown in the lower 8 pictograms. When the limit stop for a platform function is reached, a large pictogram is shown for a limited movement. The bar graph also shows the remaining clearance to the limit stop. The display screen provides you with help too. For example, finding the transport position. Here we can see that the basket, or the rotation of the platform, is not in the central position. This will not allow the machine to correctly be stowed. As soon as the telescopic arm is in the vertical position above the telescopic arm support, a tick appears in the display to signal this. Permitted basket weight exceeded. As soon as the permitted basket weight has been exceeded, the display screen indicates this. Please note, platform movements are then no longer possible. The main menu of the graphic display. In the main menu you have 4 submenus: fuel indicator, machine data, service hotline and settings. You will not be able to change any settings as the password is required. For example, to find out the current level of your fuel, press function button 1. This will give you an indication of the current level of your fuel. For further information on the settings contained in the main menu, refer to the operator's manual. Position of the safety devices. Number 1. Rotary angle sensor for the lower boom. 2. Rotary angle sensor for the working basket. 3. Basket scale. 4. Outrigger lock-in mechanism limit switch. 5. Outrigger position limit switch. Please note, for 4 and 5 there is 1 per outrigger. 6. Valves for chassis emergency rotary angle sensor for pivoting. 9. Limit switch when the lower boom is telescoped in. Number 1. Initiator, basket ladder monitoring, optional. 2. Emergency stop button on the control panel. 3. Limit switch for the upper boom when telescoped in. 4. Limit switch for the retraction rope brake. 5. Limit switch floor pressure. There is 1 per outrigger. 6. Rotary angle sensor for the upper boom. 7. Limit switch rope brake for extension rope. 8. Platform emergency valve. 9. Limit switch for the upper boom transport position. 10. Circular level. 11. Tilt sensor for the basket level. 12. Battery cutoff switch. 13. Initiator for the basket secured. Emergency stop button. The machine is shut down by pressing the emergency stop button. After the emergency stop button has been pressed, and in order to switch the machine on again, the emergency stop button has to be released by turning it. Limit switches. Limit switch retrieve the correct position of certain components. For example, the limit switches can prevent the inadvertent movement of the machine. Battery main switch. The battery main switch is always near the battery. The batteries can be disconnected from the vehicle's electrical system by means of the main battery switch. This is recommended when the machine is not used. Tilt sensor and circular level. During automatic bracing, the machine is aligned horizontally automatically with the help of the tilt sensor. Circular level. The maximum permissible inclination is 1 degree. This must be checked visually with the circular level. Valves for emergency and service mode. The access platform can be operated in emergency mode in case of power failure. Various valves can be used to trigger and move the respective platform assemblies with the hand pump. Rotary angle sensor. The rotary angle sensor monitors the angle of the lift boom, lower boom, upper boom and the working basket. Depending on the conditions, fault messages may be issued. The lowering speed may be regulated and the correct position for lowering into a transportation position may be displayed as a result. The access platform is used to perform work at height. Controlling the platform is performed from the working platform using the upper control panel, or from the ground position using the cable remote control. In order to put the aerial platform in the working position, any driving or operating the outriggers from the working platform should only happen when it is not possible to operate the machine using the remote control from the ground position. The chassis is lifted using the 4 outriggers. The outriggers can either be automatically braced or manually braced. Platform operation cannot be started until the chassis has been correctly levelled. This is carried out by using a visual inspection using the circular spirit level bubble. Bracing can be set into 4 bracing positions: wide, 2-sided, narrow, 1-sided left, narrow, 1-sided right, narrow, 2-sided. The left and right hand crawler chassis can be adjusted independently of each other. These can be carried out mechanically or hydraulically and are height adjustable. Engine controller. The engine controllers are operated directly on the combustion engine. Number 1 is an optional light button. 2. Speed adjustment button. 3. Operation LED or fault LED. 4. Display. 5. Arrow key up. 6. Arrow key down. 7. Set key. 8. Key switch. Number 1. Light button. This button is used to switch on the optional headlights. 2. Speed adjustment button. The button is used to increase and decrease the basic speed. 3. LEDs. A green LED indicates everything is okay. A red LED indicates that there is a fault. 4. Display. Shows the current status as well as any fault messages. 5. Arrow key up can be used to select the next display or increase values. 6. Arrow key down. The arrow key can be used to select the previous display or reduce values. 7. Set key. The set key is used to confirm inputs. 8. Key switch. The key switch is used to start and stop the combustion engine and make settings. Please note the combustion engine must only be switched on and off using the key switch on the engine controller in service mode. Connecting the cable remote control. Open the cover and unfasten the bypass plug connector. Insert the plug connector of the cable remote control into the socket. The emergency stop button must be out when performing this procedure. Set the toggle switch on the cable remote control to 1. The machine is ready for operation if the green lamp flashes or lights up constantly. Switching the machine on and off via the cable remote control. Set the toggle switch on the cable remote control to 1. The machine is ready for operation if the green lamp flashes or lights up constantly. To start the machine, you would use the engine toggle switch by pushing it up once and releasing it. Switching the machine off, move the toggle switch on the cable remote control to position 0. The machine will now turn off. To switch the machine on from the working platform via the control panel, disconnect the remote control and connect the bypass plug connector. Switching the machine on and off using the combustion engine. Please note, starting up the combustion engine frequently causes a voltage drop on the starter battery. Avoid frequent starting of the combustion engine. For switching on the engine, always check the engine oil level. Connect the cable remote control as described earlier. Switch on the cable remote control by moving the toggle switch on the cable remote control to position 1. To start up, press and hold the toggle switch in the up position for at least 2 seconds. The startup process on a diesel engine is slightly delayed and may take longer as it has an automatic temperature controlled preheating unit. The yellow lamp will flash during the startup process. When the engine is running, the yellow lamp will be lit up constantly. To switch the machine off using the combustion engine, push the toggle switch up and hold it until the engine stops. Switch the engine on and off via the working platform or control panel. To start the engine, press and hold the illuminated push button for at least 2 seconds. To turn off the engine, push and hold the illuminated push button until the combustion engine stops. Moving the machine. Set the function selection switch of the cable remote control into the center position to chain function or crawler function. This will be color coded red. Use the operating mode selector switch on the cable remote control and the operating mode selector switch on the control box to select the speed. Moving the machine with the control levers. To move the machine, there are 2 control levers that are situated either side of the control panel. To move the machine forward, push both control levers forward. To move the machine backwards, pull both control levers backwards. These levers are proportional controls and will respond to your input. Push the left control lever towards the front and the right control lever towards the rear. The machine will rotate clockwise. Push the left control lever towards the rear of the machine and the right control lever towards the front. The machine will rotate anti-clockwise. For a full breakdown of the machine's movement operations, please refer to the operator's manual. Always depending on the nature of the ground below the machine, the possible turning radius can have various sizes. The rubber tracks are loaded more heavily through smaller turning radiuses and wear out faster. When turning sharp or acute turns, always ensure that the selector switch is positioned to the crawl speed slow, or you could cause damage and issues to the tracks. Switch on the machine. Set the toggle switch on the control panel to the crawler chassis function. Use the toggle switch to select crawl speed, turtle, or fast speed, rabbit. Move the machine with the control levers. Setting the working position of the outriggers. The individual outriggers can be latched in two working positions, narrow or wide. Warning: when unfastening an outrigger, there is a risk of crushing if the outrigger is allowed to pivot in an uncontrolled manner. So always secure your outrigger with one hand while keeping your other hand on the latching bolt. Use your free hand to push the latching bolt on the handlebar. This will now allow the outrigger to be pivoted freely. Pivot the outrigger so that the latching bolt is positioned over the drilled hole for the wide or narrow working position. Push the latching bolt down along the link and make sure the latching bolt is pushed all the way in. In order to put the machine into the work position, the outriggers can be extended manually or automatically. The brace in the machine can be carried out from the remote control or from the working platform. Automatic lowering of the outriggers. Move the outriggers into the desired working position. Select the function select switch on the cable remote control to the outrigger function, which is colour yellow. Set the operating mode selector switch to automatic or auto mode. Using the control levers to operate the four outriggers, push any of the control levers forward. By pushing any of the control levers forward, all the outriggers are extended simultaneously. As with the lowering of any outriggers, ensure that the ground is suitable for taking the weight of the machine and that the area is clear of any people or animals. Move the chassis into the horizontal position by aligning the outriggers with the circular level. The bubble in the circular level again must be within 1 degree of the circle. Again, if the bracing is correct, the green lamp on the cable remote control will light up constantly. Be aware you must also check the bracing visually. Check that the outriggers are in contact with the ground and that the chain or tracks are not in contact with the ground. Manual lowering of the outriggers. Select the function select switch on the cable remote control to the outrigger function, which is yellow. Set the operating mode selector switch to manual, which is the hand symbol. Use the control levers to operate the four outriggers. In the manual mode, each of the four black control levers will operate an individual outrigger. Pushing control lever 1 forwards will extend outrigger 1. Pushing control lever 2 forwards will extend outrigger 2, and so on. The speed of extension can be adjusted by actuating the control lever slowly. This is known as proportional control. Move the chassis into horizontal position by aligning the outriggers with the circular level. The bubble in the circular level must be within 1 degree of the circle. If the bracing is correct, the green lamp on the cable remote control lights up constantly. However, you must check the bracing visually. Check that all the outriggers are in contact with the ground. Please note the chain or tracks must not be in contact with the ground. When the outrigger foot is approximately 3 foot from the ground, connect the outrigger pad to the foot as shown. Bracing the machine via the control panel. Move the outriggers into the desired working position. Set the toggle switch on the control panel to the outrigger function, yellow. The operation of bracing the machine via the control panel requires the same method that is used for bracing the machine via the cable remote control. Driving over edges. Retract the crawler chassis completely. Move the machine into the transport position. Swivel outriggers 1 and 4 into the rear transport position. Make sure that the heights of the edges over which you are going to drive do not exceed 100 mm. Approach the edge at an angle as close to the right angle as possible and drive over it slowly as you descend. Moving the machine to the transport position, the machine can be lowered either using the cable remote control or from the working basket using the control panel. Due to uneven lowering of the outriggers, the machine can tip or slide. This can cause severe injuries and significant material damage. Please refer to the operator's manual for further warnings when setting the machine into the transport position. Moving the machine into the transport position via the cable remote control. Only use the cable remote control if there is nobody in the working basket. In order to move the machine into the transport position, the outriggers can be retracted manually or automatically. If retracting the machine manually, set the function selection switch on the cable remote control to the outrigger function, which is yellow. Set the operating mode select switch to manual, hand symbol. Use the control levers to operate the outriggers 1 to 4. Pull the control lever 1 back, outrigger 1 is retracted. Pull the control lever 2 back, outrigger 2 is retracted, and so on. Once all outriggers have been retracted, release the outriggers and swivel them back into the transport position. If retracting the machine automatically, only use the cable remote control if there is no one in the working basket. Connect the cable remote control, switch on the machine, telescope in the upper boom and the lower boom. Swivel the platform in the direction of the transport position so that both arrows on the rotation indicator are aligned with each other. Rotate the working basket into the center position. Lower the lower boom completely. Lower the upper boom completely. Select the function select switch on the cable remote control to the outrigger function, yellow. Now set the operating mode selector switch to automatic or auto. Pull any control lever and all outriggers are retracted simultaneously. Again, once all the outriggers have been retracted, release the outriggers and swivel them back into the transport position. Moving the machine into the transport or stowed position using the control panel. Manual lowering. Before operating the control panel in the working basket, disconnect the cable remote control from the machine and stow it in a safe place. Telescope in the upper and the lower boom. Swivel the platform in the direction of the transport position. Lower the lower boom completely. Lower the upper boom until it automatically stops. On the display screen, the display appears. Continue to swivel the working basket in the direction of the transport position until the transport position is shown on the display screen with a tick. Now lower the upper boom into the transport position. Set the toggle switch on the control panel to the outrigger function, which is yellow. Set the toggle switch to manual, hand symbol. Caution, risk of injury. When lowering and lifting the outriggers into the transport position, there is a risk of the outrigger colliding with components of the machine. This can cause severe injury and material damage. Make sure that no people are in the danger zone when moving into the transport position. Pull control lever 1 backwards, outrigger 1 will be retracted. Pull control lever 2 backwards, outrigger 2 is retracted, and so on. Once all outriggers have been retracted, release the outriggers and swivel them into the transport position. Automatic lowering using the control panel. Lower the upper boom until it stops automatically. On the display screen, the display appears. Continue to swivel the platform in the direction of the transport position until the transport position is shown on the display screen with a tick. Now continue to swivel the working basket in the direction of the transport position until the transport position is shown on the display screen with a tick. Now lower the upper boom into the transport position. Set the toggle switch on the control panel to the outrigger function, which is yellow. Now set the toggle switch to automatic or auto. Using the control levers to operate the outriggers 1 to 4. Pull any of the control levers 1, 2, 3 or 4 backwards. All outriggers will now be retracted simultaneously. Once all outriggers have been retracted, release the outriggers and swivel them into the transport position. Removing and replacing the working basket. It is recommended that you carry out this work with the help of a second person. Move the machine into the transport position. Unfasten the clamp. The second person should now support the working basket at the front. Pull the split pin out of the basket bolt. Turn the basket bolt 90 degrees anti-clockwise. And now pull out the basket bolt. Please ensure you retain this bolt. Working as a pair, tilt the working basket forwards a little and pull it up and out, upwards from the holder. The basket will now lift off. The basket has wheels underneath to allow it to be moved easily. Installing the working basket. Working as a pair, insert the working basket into the holder and push it into the working basket mount. Insert the basket bolt through. Turn the basket bolt 90 degrees clockwise so that it engages in place. Insert the split pin into the basket bolt. Tension the working basket. To do so, insert the shackle into the bracket and close the clamp by pushing it down. Crawler chassis height and width adjustment. Warning: danger of injury due to improper height and width adjustment. With improper height and width adjustment, the machine can tip or slide. This can cause severe injuries and significant material damage. Only undertake height and width adjustments in the wide position. Always perform any work as a pair with the help of a second person. Retracting and extending the crawler chassis hydraulically via the cable remote control. Set the function switch on the cable remote control to the red. Use the control levers 1 and 2 to operate the crawler chassis. When operating the height adjustment mechanism, there is a risk of severe injury and crushing between the crawler chassis and the ground. Ensure that there are no limbs between the crawler chassis and the floor. Push control lever 1 forwards, the left hand crawler chassis is extended. Pull the control lever 1 backwards, the left hand crawler chassis is retracted. Push control lever 2 forwards, the right hand crawler chassis is extended. Pull the control lever 2 backwards, the right hand crawler chassis is retracted. Retracting or extending the crawler chassis hydraulically via the control panel. Set the toggle switch on the control panel to the crawler chassis function. Use the control levers 1 and 2 to operate the crawler chassis. Operate the machine with the cable remote control. Set the function selection switch on the cable remote control to the platform function, which is coloured blue, using the control levers and the toggle switch to operate the platform. Pushing control lever 1 forwards will raise the lower boom. It will also telescope out the lower boom at full elevation. Pulling control lever 1 backwards will lower the lower boom. It will also telescope in the lower boom when it's at full elevation. Pushing control lever 2 forwards will raise the upper boom. Pulling control lever 2 backwards will lower the upper boom. Push control lever 2 forwards to raise the upper boom slightly. Doing this prevents the machine from hitting itself if the lower boom is raised beforehand. Pushing control lever 3 forwards will telescope out the upper boom. Pulling control lever 3 backwards will telescope in the upper boom. Pushing control lever 4 forwards will swivel the platform clockwise. Pulling the control lever backwards will swivel the platform anti-clockwise. Pushing the toggle lever 5 forwards, the working basket will swivel clockwise. Pushing the toggle lever 5 backwards, the working basket swivels anti-clockwise. The operating mode selector switch can be used to activate and deactivate the ramp function. This is for moving slowly into the final position. Auto is the ramp function is activated. Manual ramp function is deactivated. If in carrying out these operations and functions, a control does not actuate or operate in the intended direction, immediately isolate, tag and report the fault to your supervisor or manager. The machine must not be used. Platform operation in emergency mode. Unscrew the cover. Screw in the pressure relief valve completely. Unscrew and remove the black cap from the release valve and completely screw out the valve actuator. Pull the valve up. Lock the valve with the locking pin. Open the hydraulic control box. Connect the hand pump lever to the hand pump. Please note the hand pump lever is situated in the hydraulic control box at the bottom. Make sure that the hand wheel on the hand pump is closed. Actuate the desired valve by pushing it in and simultaneously pump up and down with the hand pump. Do this until the selected function has reached the desired position. If there are people or objects in the working basket, keep it in a position that is as close to horizontal as possible. Always fully telescoping the booms all the way first. Swivel the platform into the transport position. First lower the upper boom, then the lower boom into the transport position. Please note that more than one valve can also be actuated simultaneously. Remember that if you want to lower the machine down, you must first swivel the platform in the direction of the transport position so that the arrows on the rotation indicator are aligned with each other. After emergency operation, remove the locking pin and move the valve into the centre position. Completely screw in and release the valve. Completely screw out the pressure relief valve. The machine may topple or slip if platform mode is operated improperly. This can cause severe injuries and material damage. Operating the outriggers in emergency mode. When raising the outriggers in emergency mode, ensure that the machine's upper boom sections are fully closed before performing this operation. Please note, for the outrigger operation in emergency mode, a second person who is familiarised will be required. Number 1. Unscrew the cover. 2. Completely screw in the pressure relief valve Y64. Unscrew and remove the black cap from the release valve and completely screw out the actuator valve Y63. Push the valve down and hold it Y7. The second person now needs to open the hydraulic control box and connect the hand pump lever to the hand pump. 7. Make sure the hand wheel on the hand pump is closed. The machine may topple or slip if the outrigger mode is operated improperly. This can cause severe injury and material damage. Always keep the machine in a position as close to horizontal as possible when lowering. One person will need to actuate the desired valve by pushing it in. The second person will need to pump up and down with the hand pump until the selected outrigger has reached the desired position. When complete, release the valve Y7 after emergency mode. Screw in the release valve Y63 all the way and completely unscrew and remove the pressure release valve Y64. If the valves are set incorrectly in normal mode, there is a risk of uncontrolled movements. This can cause severe injuries. Make sure that for normal mode, the valves Y63, Y64 and Y7 are back in the initial position. Shutting down the machine. Ensure that the machine is returned back into the closed position, including the rotation of the turret, the folding of the booms and the retraction of the outriggers. Filling the fuel tank. Make sure that the engine is switched off. Always make sure that the aerial platform is in the horizontal position. Wear suitable gloves as per your risk assessment. Remove the fuel cap from the fuel tank by turning it anti-clockwise and keeping it in a clean place. Top up the fuel tank to around 2 cm below the tank nozzle. Screw the fuel tank cap back on, wipe up any spilled fuel as necessary. To shut down and secure the machine, remove the red isolator key from the machine. Disconnect the cable remote control box from the machine. This will now prevent anyone from using the machine.